automations. So what about automations and creating actions? How to create actions? By the way, for tasks you perform frequently, you can easily record a number of actions to help you work more efficiently. And so what about record actions? Guidelines for recording actions. By the way, keep in mind that the following guidelines when recording actions. Firstly, you can record, by the way, most but not all commands in an action. And after that, you can record operations that you perform with the Marquee, and movie, and Polygon, and Lasso, and magic wand, and crop and slice, magic eraser, and gradient, and paint bucket, and type and shape, and notes, and eyedropper, and color simpler tools, by the way, as well as those that you perform in the history, and swatches, and color and passes, and channels, and layers, and stylus, and actions panel. And after that, results depends on file and program setting variables, such as the active layer and the foreground color. For example, a 3-pixel Gaussian blur won't create the same effect on a 72 ppi file as on a 144 ppi file. And nor will color balance work on a grayscale file, by the way. And by the way, when you record actions that include specifying setting in dialog boxes and panels, the action, by the way, will reflect the setting in effect at the time of the recording. And if you change a setting in a dialog box or panel while recording an action, the changed value, by the way, is recorded. Note and be careful here please now. By the way, most dialog boxes retain the setting specified at the previous use. And you can check carefully that those are the values you want to record. And model operations and tools, as well as tools that record position. And you can use the units currently specified for a ruler. And a model operations, by the way, or tool is one that requires you to press enter a return to apply its effect, such as transforming or cropping. And tools that record position include the Marquee, by the way, and the slice and gradient, and magic and wand and lasso, and the shape and pass and eyedropper, and nose tools. And if you record an action that will be played on files of different sizes, you can set the ruler units to percentage, and as a result, the action, by the way, will always play back in the same relative position in the image. And also you can record the play command listed on the actions panel menu to cause one action to play another. And how to record an action? By the way, when you create a new action, the commands and tools you use are added, by the way, to the action until you stop recording. And to guard honest mistakes, work in a copy at the beginning of the action before applying other commands, and record the file like save as command and select as a copy. Alternatively, you can click the new snapshot button on the history panel to make a snapshot of the image before recording the action. We have steps here now. Step number 1, you should open a file firstly. Step number 2, in the actions panel, click the create new action button or choose new action from the action panel menu. Step number 3, you should enter an action name, then select the action search and set additional options. We have many options here. We have function key. Function key is meaning that you can assign a keyboard shortcut to the action. And you can also choose any combination of a function key and the control key if you use Windows, or command key if you use macOS. And the shift key, by the way, for example, control shift F3 with this exception in Windows, and you can't use the F1 key, and nor can you use F4 or F6 with the control key. Not here please in this point. By the way, if you assign an action the same shortcut that is used for a command, the shortcut, by the way, will apply the action rather than the command. So what about color? Color is meaning that assign the color for display in button mode. And step number 4, you should click begin recording and the beginning recording button in the actions panel turns red. You should click begin recording, and the begin recording button in the actions panel will be turned red, and not here in this point. Step number 4. By the way, when recording the save as command, don't change the file name. And if you enter a new file name, that new name, by the way, is recorded and used each time you run the action. And before saving, if you navigate to a different folder, you can specify, by the way, a different location without having to specify a file name. Step number 5. Perform the operations and commands you want to record. By the way, not all tasks in actions can be recorded directly, by the way. However, you can insert most non-recordable tasks using commands in the actions panel menu. Step number 6. To stop recording, either click the stop playing and recording button, or choose stop recording from the actions panel menu, or press the escape key. And by the way, the resume recording in the same action, you can't choose start recording from the actions panel menu anyway. So what about record a pass? Record a pass. What's the meaning of record a pass? By the way, the insert pass command lets you include a complex pass, and a pass created with a pen tool or pasted from Adobe Illustrator, and as part of an action. And when the action is played back, the work pass is set to the recorded pass, by the way. And you can also insert a pass when recording an action, or after it has been recorded. We have steps. Step number 1. Start recording an action. After that, select an action's name to record a pass at the end of the location of the action, sorry. After that, select the command to record a pass after the command. Step number 2. You should select an existing pass from the passes panel. Step number 3. You can choose insert pass from the actions panel menu. And by the way, if you record multiple insert pass record commands in a single action, by the way, each pass replaces the previous one in the target file. And to add multiple passes, you should record a save pass command using the passes panel after recording each insert pass command. Note here and be careful in this point. By the way, playing actions that insert complex passes may require, by the way, significant amounts of memory. And if you encounter problems, increase the amount of memory available to Photoshop. And how to insert a stop? How to insert a stop? By the way, you can include stops in an action that lets you perform a task that cannot be recorded, by the way. For example, using a painting tool. And after the complete the task, you should click the play button in the actions panel to complete the action. And by the way, you can also display a short message when the action reaches the stop as a reminder of what needs to be done before continuing and with the action. And you can also include a continue button in the message box in case no other task needs to be done. We have steps. Step number 1. You should choose where you insert the stop by doing one of the following. You should select an action's name to insert a stop at the end of the action firstly. And second one, select a command to insert a stop after the command. Step number 2, you should choose insert a stop from the actions panel menu. Step number 3, type the message you want to appear. Step number 4, if you want the option to continue the action without stopping, select allow, continue. Step number 5, click OK to finalize. And by the way, you can insert a stop. By the way, you can insert a stop when you're recording an action or after it has been recorded, by the way. And how to change setting when playing an action. How to change setting when playing an action. By default, actions are completed using the values specified when they were originally recorded. And by the way, if you want to change the setting for a command within an action, you can insert, by the way, a model control, and a model control pushes an action so that you can specify values in a dialog box or use a model tool. And the model tool, by the way, requires pressing enter or return to apply its effect. And once you press enter or return, the action resumes its tasks. And the model control is indicated by a dialog box icon by the way, and to the left of a command action or set in the actions panel. And a red dialog box icon indicates an action or set in which some but not all commands are modal. And you can set a model by the way control in button mode. And you should do one of the following. To enable a model control for a command within an action, you should click the box to the left of the command name, then click again to disable the model control. After that, to enable or disable model controls for all commands in an action, you should click the box to the left of the action name. After that, to enable or disable model controls for all actions in a set, you should click the box to the left of the set name. How to exclude commands from an action. How to exclude commands for an action. By the way, you can exclude commands that you don't want to play as part of a record action. And by the way, you can't exclude commands in button mode. We have steps. Step number 1. If necessary, expand the listing of commands in the action by clicking the triangle or to the left of the action name in the actions panel. Step number 2. Do one of the following. To exclude a single command, you should click to clear the check mark to the left of the command name. After that, click again to include the command. And after that, to exclude or include all commands or actions in an action or set, you should click the check mark to the left of the action or set name. And after that, to exclude or include all commands except the select command. Alt click if you use Windows or Option click if you use macOS. It's a check mark by the way. And to indicate that some of the commands within the action are excluded, the check mark by the way of the parent actions turns red. How to insert a non-recordable menu command. How to insert a non-recordable menu command. By the way, you can't record the painting and toning tools and tool options and view commands and undo commands. However, you can insert many non-recordable commands into an action using the insert menu item command. And by the way, you can insert a command when recording an action or after it has been recorded, and an inserted command doesn't execute until the action is played, so the file remains unchanged when the command is inserted. And no values for the command are recorded by the way in the action. And if the command opens a dialog box, the dialog box appears by the way during playback, and the action pushes until you click OK or cancel. Note here in this point and be careful. By the way, when you use the insert menu item command to insert a command that opens a dialog box, you can't disable, by the way, you can't disable the model control in the actions panel. We have steps. Step number 1. You should choose where you insert. You should choose where to insert the menu item firstly. And you should select an action's name to insert the item at the end of the action. After that, select command to insert the item at the end of the command. Step number 2. You should choose insert menu item for the actions panel menu. Step number 3. With the insert menu item dialog box, you should choose command from its menu. With the insert menu item dialog box open, and choose a command from its menu. Step number 4. Click OK to finalize. How to edit and record actions. How to edit and record actions. You can tweak the setting of any specific command within an action, by the way, and add commands to an existing action, or step through an entire action and change any or all setting. And how to overwrite a single command. We have 2 steps. In the actions panel, by the way, double click the command, and number 2, enter the new values and then click OK to finalize. How to add commands to an action. How to add commands to an action. We have steps. Number 1, select the action name to insert a new command at the end of the action, and after that, select a command in the action to insert a command after it. Step number 2, you should click the begin recording button or choose start recording from the actions panel menu. Step number 3, record the additional commands. Step number 4, when finished, click the stop and playing and record button in the Actions panel or choose Stop Recording from the panel menu. Rearrange. Rearrange commands within an action. How to rearrange commands within an action. By the way, in the Actions panel, you should drag a command to its new location within the same or another action, by the way. And when the highlighted line appears in the desired position, you can release the mouse button, by the way. And how to record an action again. How to record an action again? We have 3 steps. Step number 1. You should select an action. Then you choose Record Again from the Actions panel menu. Step number 2. If a model tool appears, you can use the tool to create a different result, by the way, and then press Enter or Return. Or just press Enter or Return to retain the same setting. Step number 3. And finally, if a dialog box appears, change the setting and then click OK to record them. And then click OK. And then click Cancel to retain the same values. Step number 3 again. If a dialog box appears, should change the setting and then click OK to record them, or click Cancel to retain the same values.